Now, there's a few other interesting quotes from this book. If you're interested in Megyn Kelly and her career, I recommend that you read this book because it is fascinating. You can see where she comes from. And it also takes you into the Roger Ailes thing and the awful confronting and, oh gosh, what a year from hell she had. I mean, she had all the fallout from the debate with Donald Trump, where all his followers just totally piled on her. I mean, her life was in danger. And in the end, she had to sort of organise a ceasefire by going to visit Donald Trump himself in Trump Towers after about 9 months of hell, where really she did not feel safe. She didn't feel that her family was safe. She required protection. And then eventually they sort of organised a ceasefire. And I noticed that leading up into the 2024 election, whenever she's asked about this year of hell that she has, she always says very professionally and calmly, I've put it behind me, it's part of the job, I've moved on. So, you know, she doesn't want to involve herself in looking back at all. So that's interesting. I mean, I think she's an incredibly brave woman, aside from being talented and gorgeous and intelligent and a lawyer and, you know, all those things. She speaks very warmly about her parents and her family. And you can see that that would be why she's so incredibly grounded, because she just had an exemplary childhood. And this little quote, I think, sort of summed up the childhood that she was describing to us. When I was growing up, I felt zero pressure to achieve. I mean, zero. As a result, I was able to figure out for myself what I wanted to do and find my own motivation. I grew up happy. And she's saying that she was never treated like she was particularly talented or particularly special. So she didn't feel that pressure to sort of live up to an expectation. Now, I'll just finish up with a quick snippet that gives you an indication of the disturbing pressure she endured after she asked that debate question to Donald Trump. And I'm not going to repeat that question here because I don't want the weight following me around. But she said, most disturbing were the overwhelming number and violent nature of the messages we were receiving and the way Trump's anger was evidently seen by some as a call to action. And she said, at times I wondered if I had done something other than ask a tough debate question. So there you go. That's just a little snippet. But it's interesting that when she went in to sort of have her make-up meeting with Trump, and they get on really well now. I mean, he even did exclusive interview with her after that. And there's no bad blood between them at all now. But she did say that at the end of that meeting, where they were sort of making it all cool between them, Donald Trump asked her for her cell phone number. And she hesitated because it was after. Do you remember when he doxed Lindsey Graham, where he actually released his phone number out on the internet because Lindsey Graham said something about him he didn't like? Do you remember that? Well, she was hesitant to hand over her mobile phone number because she thought that he was going to do the same thing. And she said, "You're not going to Lindsey Graham me, are you?" A reference to the moment Trump publicly disclosed Senator Graham's personal cell phone number after Graham criticised him in the early primary season. Fascinating book. If you would like to read more about Megyn Kelly and more about all these scandals and dramatic events, then I highly recommend Settle for More.